Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we got a short to talk about. Shout out to Chisha Zed's channel. Listen, we cannot keep allowing these irrelevant thoughts to come back out of thought obscurity, out of the obscurity and obsolescence of hitting the wall, to tell somebody about how they can avoid the wall or how they can circumvent the wall. Okay? There is no circumventing of the wall. No circumventing of the wall. There is no deleting of those bodies that you have accumulated. There is no getting rid of, or in her words, deleting your wholeness. There's no such thing as that for anybody. There's not a single woman on this planet that can delete any bodies that she acquired. I don't care if it's a few. I don't care if it's one or two, 100, 200, or 3,000. No matter what kind of bodies you have, you cannot get rid of them. So we're just going to listen to this really, really quickly. Okay. We're going to listen to this foolishness real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to cook this foolishness. So here we go.
An iconic phrase. I feel like you could delete your hotness. Have you ever explained so what does that mean?
Yeah. I still stand on that.
Yeah.
I still confirm that because you may have been a hoe back in your day. You may have slept around a bit, but if you find that one,
what makes it deleted?
You just don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
After so much time, it goes away.
Uh-huh.
So
who do you think?
We're going to run it back.
You have an iconic phrase. I feel like you could delete your hotness. Have you ever explained so what does that mean?
Yeah. I still stand on that.
Yeah.
I still confirm that because you may have been a hoe back in your day. You may have slept around a bit, but if you find that one,
what makes it deleted?
You just don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
After so much time, it goes away.
Uh-huh.
So
who do you think?
Now, the first thing that I need everybody to understand is that Drea Michelle, for those of us who remember her, I do believe she was on Basketball Wives in some of the earlier seasons, and things of that nature. First of all, Drea is Brittany Renner's prototype. Okay, she was the first Brittany Renner. All right, she was the blueprint for Brittany Renner, the forerunner, if you will, for Brittany Renner. All right. So that's number one. Number two, okay. You cannot delete your wholeness. The lady asked what makes it deleted? And this chicken head, still chicken headed. Drea gotta be in her 40s. Drea has got to be in her 40s. Let me real quick. If she's not, she's close. 38. I knew she had to be one of them. They saying she's 38 years old. So she's been at the wall actually for a while now. Drea is obscure. Drea, I do believe, has a child or two. Um, Drea is a known thought. All right. She's a known groupie. She's a known thought. And they perpetuate this idea that even though you have slept around, slutted around, hoed around, sucked a bunch of eggplants, that somehow if you just stop doing it, or if you just, or time can get rid of them bodies. No, it don't. No, it don't. Time do not get rid of them bodies, ladies. It don't. If you have accumulated an untold amount of bodies, if you have Burr Oak Cemetery behind you, all right? If you have all of those bodies in your name, I'm sorry. You may be able to make a change within yourself. Let's be clear. You may at some point, usually at the wall, decide, or biology decide for you, or lack of men's attention decides for you that you gotta stop being a hoe because won't nobody, there are no more takers, right? And you decide, you know what, the whole life, hoe is not life. I'm gonna have to, become a woman and quote unquote heal and do all of this other stuff, internal work and mental health work and all this other kind of work y'all claim y'all be doing. You can do that, but nobody has got to forget about your wholeness, especially if you was a public hoe, especially if you was a well-known hoe, especially if you was a IG hoe or a reality TV thought. Don't nobody got to forget about that. You have cemented that into the fabric of the culture, man. You are Drea Michelle. Those of us who remember the earlier years of the Basketball Wives and all that, we remember how thottish you are. Pretty as a picture, but so slutty and ratchet. Okay. And was on them shows trying to talk about how, you know what I'm saying, you're not this and you're not that anymore. If you watch any of her other interviews from a few years ago, you'll understand why I say she's Brittany Renner's prototype, because the playbook is the same. It's the same thought pattern. It's the same mindset that I can hold, but I can also still get this husband, this knight in shining armor, who's going to come along and he's going to be awesome and he's going to be attractive and he's going to be sexually appealing and he's going to be wealthy and he's going to love me and he's going to not think about all of the shame that my past promiscuity is going to bring him. This is a man that somehow, some way is going to turn a blind eye to the bad reflection that I'm going to be with him. He's going to turn a blind eye to my bad sexual market value, also to my bad belonging market value. Because see, when you have a bad public sexual market value, okay, i.e. the public toilet, that ruins your reputation. That reputation belongs in your belonging market value, right? How people perceive you, what people think about you. See, that's bad. See, Brittany Renner has a horrible belonging market value just because of the way the public views her. Drea Michelle has that same problem. Okay. Bad sexual market value, because it was so public, now it translated into her bad belonging market value. These sorts of things trickle over into bad personal market value also, because these women start thinking lowly of themselves and having problems with how they perceive themselves based on the fact that other people perceive them in a negative way. All right. These women typically don't make good friends, good companions, good partners in any way, shape, or form, let alone romantically. And now these women believe, okay, or at least they spew, and in some part of them delusionally have to believe it so that their psyche doesn't break, that a man, that the ruination of specifically their sexual market value and belonging market value will not ruin their marriage market value, which, as we can see on this chart, encompasses all of those categories, right? It's the Brittany Renners and the Drea Michelles of the world that tell these young women that they can slut around in their 20s when they're hot and fine and everybody wants them. And then after they hit the wall in their 30s, mid 30s, on into their 40s and approaching their 40s, that somehow some man is going to, as I demonstrated on that chart, going to see their marriage market value as good, despite the fact that their belonging and their sexual and possibly their personal market value is all bad. Okay. In other words, you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife. As we take a look at the sexual market value specifically, so many women are in this transactional, category and column with all of their sexual and romantic interactions. All of it. The OnlyFans, gotta take me out to the $500 dinner date, all of this craziness, right? And that effectively puts you in the whole category, because that's what prostitution is. Prostitution is sex for favors, sex for money, trips, favors, and all these other sorts of things. You're trading your sex in order to get something from a man that you want. Okay. Consistently engaging with men in this transactional way effectively makes you a prostitute. It makes you a whore. In this last little column here, from hoe to housewife, that pink column way over on the end, can you go from here to here? The answer is no. It actually says that typically this is not possible and or very difficult to accomplish, because the key factors are your body count, the experiences, and the time that you have that the time that you have been here in this transactional space. So, all right, you ladies, you can't delete it. It's not gonna go anywhere. Men are not going to overlook it, especially if you were a public whore. If you was a private whore and you go where nobody knows your name, maybe you can get somebody. But the problem is that you're still going to be a whore, right? Because when you spend all of your 20s, all of your 30s, effectively probably 2 decades almost in the whole category, you effectively just become a whore. So you act like a whore. See, once you officially make yourself for the streets and only for the streets, you remain for the streets, even if there's a guy that doesn't know you're for the streets, comes and gets you and marries you, you're going to behave like you're for the streets and you're going to go back to the streets. It is what it is. Very few hoes make that turn and are serious about it, because Brittany Renner tried to play like she was making a turn out of wholeness, like she was trying to leave her wholeness and realized she couldn't do it. So now she's trying to own up to it and, alluding to Shannon Sharp, wink, wink, do you want to be number 36, as if we believe that number. So anyway, I just wanted to come and touch on that. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.